Edgar, I have a question. Have you been contacted by anybody strange lately yet? Other than this guy?
I mean, what qualifies as strange, senor? My number's in the yellow pages. Random people do call me.
I'm specifically asking about the Faceless shit.
See, they were just here before you left. We were sitting down playing Nintendo's 64, Donkey Kong. The night before we were playing Monopoly. It was me, the Faceless, and what's his face? And Big Gray as well. He was playing with us, Monopoly. Gray is a terrible person to play with. Get this. He gave all his properties away to him, to the Faceless, and all he got in return was like a few $1,000s. Not understanding that it's not the cash that matters, it's the cards and the potential for later on down the line.
What took you for a Monopoly player?
I love Monopoly, amigo.
Okay, Edgar, well, you know, if they contact you again, you make sure you let us know, okay?
Do I let you know?
I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
You know, I heard about the 3 visitors you had across the street. Ones with the masks, playing golf. You didn't tell me you'd been kidnapped to the golf course.
I thought that was common knowledge in the department, as there were many officers present.
Yeah, it's news to me. What was it all about?
Senor, if you have mentioned them, you understand that this organization is not one that trifles.
So the people who kidnapped you were working for them.
I'm not sure. All I know is 3 strange men came, did a golf swing. I took no heed of it, came inside. I was then kidnapped against my will, taken underwater, black bag over my face. Then after what seemed to be an eternity, I was dumped in the golf course. Smacked over the head with my leg broken.
Where did they take you in the submarine?
They had me on a jet ski first. They were headed straight for the airport. They weren't talking to me, but they mentioned something in the radio about extraction. When we arrived to the airport, apparently the entire PD was there. So they turned around and go to a cargo ship. They made me climb it. And then when it seemed like I was going to be saved, that my savior was imminent, they directed me into the water. There was a submarine or something like a submarine waiting for us there. The rest I did not see. All I know is what seemed to be like an eternity later, we were brought up above water. And eventually made the way to the golf course.
What do you think the reason for it all was?
You tell me, senor. What do you think?
I don't know, because they weren't trying to break you out. Because they wouldn't have dropped you off at the golf course. Which makes me think that they probably had a conversation with you. And I don't necessarily expect you to tell me what the details of it were, but...
I will tell you this. That whoever it was that tried to take me to the airport were novices.
And you said that the people across the street with the masks on, they turned up before you were kidnapped? Or after?
About hours and a half before, 2 hours before.
Interesting. Okay.
They pulled up and Senor Gray was the one who pointed them out to me. He pulled out his camera and started snapping photographs with it. I'm surprised you don't know this. It's all in them. I'm sure they documented the whole fucking thing.
I know it. I know it. I didn't realize the order of the events, though. Off the record, Edgar, did they ask you to work for them? Again?
Like this. This is what they did, like that. Hour and a half later, 2 hours later, maybe 30 minutes, I'm not sure, I don't know the timeline. That's whenever I was grabbed. Now what's really puzzling is the fucker that grabbed me is just some fucking 2-bit criminal. Or at least one of the fuckers that was busted.
Who was it?
I don't recall his name. He was like... It was Perez, Oscar, Omar, something like that. Octavius.
Let's see, okay.
Xavier, I'm not sure. Something along those lines. But he's a 2-bit piece of shit. If an organization like that wants something, they get it.
Guess my question would be, and I don't need an answer, but you're not trying to break your bail. You're trying to at least face the accusations against you. Which makes me think that you might be a different man than you were before. So, my question that I'm asking myself is, does that mean you shall no longer want anything to do with that organization?
That is to imply that I had something to do with them prior.
Okay, we had pictures of you meeting with them. We know you had dealings with them.
You have pictures of Edgar meeting with who? With this organization?
With the man in the blue suit.
Bah! Are you sure it was not a Halloween party, senor?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Listen, I'm not here to interrogate you, nothing to get.
It's okay, amigo. I will explain you something, senor. If these pictures were in fact no reproduction, some sort of photo manipulation, I will say one thing. Because I endured too much 6 years ago. Little Benicio lost his older brother. I lost the chica I love, and I lost my fiancés. So I know something or two about this organization. Whatever scary stories you were trying to convince me of, whatever insane happenings and theories every pendejo that come here telling me about Freg or whoever. These scary stories is not worth being afraid of. For if that organization decides to stretch its long finger and tap you on the shoulder, then you will have a real problem and something worth fearing over. I don't know what that was that day when they pulling up, and I cannot explain the kidnapping. But I have a feeling that if you were selected, you too would be hard pressed to refuse. For you wouldn't have a choice. However, as it stands, if my security is good, and there is a constant police presence and supervision, then I don't have to worry about being approached. I don't have to worry about an offer being given and whether I have to think about whether to accept or refuse. Because there will always be the law next to me, protecting me.
Well, I'll just put this out there that obviously it's only a few days now before no longer on house arrest.
Unless they decide to extend it or something.
If that is possible. But if you change your mind and you'd like to cooperate with my investigation into this organization, we have facilities that can hide you away if that's the kind of thing, you know.
Hide me where?
We have safe houses, Edgar. Places off the books. I'm not trying to pressure you into doing anything because I know the danger that these people pose. But just think about it.
Are you speaking out loud or are you whispering?
Should I be whispering? Is somebody outside?
No, but we can never be too careful. I want to say you something. I don't wish to be contacted by them. It is clear that the day they come in here, they give me an order. The swing went to go to the golf course. I refused, and it seems to me I was taken there by force, beaten, had my leg broken, and left there. As it stands, it seems as though the constant supervision, the surveillance from the policia has been keeping them at bay. And I do not like the prospect of my house arrest being done, and for me to have free reign to go there. I don't wish to get into any trouble before my court case. Perhaps I don't wish to be contacted with these people at all. Perhaps you can do something to extend my bail.
You want me to extend it?
As long as I am here, the policia is forced to constantly look in me.
I'll see what I can do. And if that's not a possibility, I can set you up somewhere safe.
It must be done in an extremely subtle way. If word gets back that it is something that I voluntarily asked for, it is going to be my ruin.
I understand. As long as it's something, as long as it's something you
If,
want, I can probably organize it.
if I need to do something to make it seem like I'm a flight risk, I'll do it.
Leave it with me.
Be extremely, extremely, extremely careful who you share what I say you with.
I understand.
I recall when an entire city and the entire government's resources were bested. And the collective effort of everyone was still no match to protect Beric. I am reminded every time I look in his hand. Do not be the cause of my death, senor.
I don't plan on it. Thank you, Edgar. Interesting indeed. It seems maybe that Edgar wants out. Do we trust him? Maybe? 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 I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Either way, it's pretty interesting. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just keeping the dog company.
No. Listen, this guy's pretty dangerous. I figured I'd fill you in rather than Jeb and Peach, but his name's Richard Fritz. He's been around for a very long time. He doesn't have a profile. We don't have his state ID yet, but back in the day, he used to torment people, chase after them, attack them with hatchets and hammers, and he's been back around recently. You know, he attacked me today. He's attacked me with his vehicle prior. He doesn't really talk. He doesn't sound like he... the information that we have, and it's unconfirmed, that he doesn't have vocal cords. Instead, he speaks through, like, recordings, like tape recordings that he kind of edits and plays back.
Oh my god.
But we believe it's tied in with, you know, the whole lighthouse situation to an extent.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Oh
Kind of
my
shit we're
God.
dealing with. But on a positive note, I saw you you got a pretty good interrogation the other night. Last night, was it?
Oh yeah, I have the audio footage. I'm gonna start transcribing it during the meeting today. Yep, that was like a bomb, you know.
Yeah. It's that was good. It's good that, you know, those people finally getting justice. You think you said it the truth though?
I I think so. I mean, he was a suspect in both murders. There was never an investigation into Tommy DeVito's alleged murder. There's never been a body that was recovered. There's no autopsy. He's not legally declared dead. So I can't really do anything with that. But in the Elia case and the Cassie case, he was a suspect. Probably not the most likely suspect in the Cassie one, but he was a suspect. We did think about it, Flores and I. We
I
were able
saw
to get details,
your
so you know.
yeah, I saw your highlighted bit in the subpoena that said something along the lines of that previously Lang had stated he knew who killed Cassie, and that they were dangerous people. Was that accurate?
Yeah. We arrested him for his warrant. So he had a warrant for like robbing a bank or something like that. So we arrested him for it. And as I was bringing him into the cell, he goes, "When are you guys, finally gonna catch the person that killed Cassie?" And at that time, Flores and I thought that no one knew that she was dead, right? Because obviously her profile had been tampered with, her body was dumped in the water. So whoever did it probably didn't expect us to find her, or if we did find her, because of the fake ID and the fact that her DNA was no match, she had no fingerprints, they probably thought we would be unable to identify that as Cassie.
Where was she dumped, though?
So
You
when
don't mind me asking.
she was dumped off of Sustancia Road in the water,
Hmm. How did you
she was
find her?
there's a 911 call about. Hold on, let me get the exact words actually. There's a 911 call, I think, about the body floating in the water, and then about strange men wearing all black dumping her off.
Oh shit. Okay.
So there was a 911 from a local fisherman, saying that there's a girl floating in the water, lifeless. And then another one, strange men in all black driving up to shore, not sure but looks sketchy. And you just responded to that and found the body on the shore. So she was dumped in the water. According to Buddha, he took her out on a boat off of Sustancia, shot her, body fell over water, and then he ditched a gun off of Sustancia in the water. We went scuba diving for it yesterday, but we couldn't find it. But it has been a month, and I know ADMC likes going down to that beach, and they just brandish their class twos and shoot at the people on the jet skis. I don't know why they do it, but they do it frequently. So I think if anything, they probably found the gun.
Okay.
Get the shovel, Jen.
So obviously he made those comments about when are we gonna catch your murder, and that intrigued me. So we decided we were gonna have to interrogate him. And then the next time we caught him for a crime, I interrogated him, and he stated that he knew that she was dead because he'd gotten a phone call stating that she was dead and that her body had been taken care of and would never be found. He said the face was
Yeah,
dead.
I was about to get to that. I was gonna ask directly about the face that's been involved. Because she had a cord on her body, right?
A blue one, but I I think the blue one means you're in good standing with them, no?
No, the
If
blue
the
one's
black one means you're marked for death.
the blue one's like a. It's still a warning. You know, you're still marked, but it's the lowest level. Yeah.
I feel like if they actually did it, she'd have a black card on her.
I'd agree. I'd agree with you. Yeah.
He
You
didn't
know,
outright name them as the Faceless, but he was obviously insinuating it, but he said he lied, so.
okay. If I find anything on my end when it comes to that, I'll let you know. I'll have a dig through and see if I can sift through anything. You know, there was one thing, yeah, and let's get some privacy for a sec. Wait. Drop my pen. Fuck. There was a text message. When did Cassie get broken out?
On the 13th of February or the 14th? I don't know, probably depends on, time stuff.
Okay, bear with me and I'm gonna go grab this text message. So on the 14th at 21:47, the Faceless gets a text message. The text message reads, 2 more birds have been delivered to Charlie at the safe location. Ready and waiting. Preparations have been advanced for... And then it's a hashtag Operation Skynode. Does that mean anything to you, the date or anything like that?
You said Sky Note?
Yeah.
So we assume Shirley in this case means CJ?
That's my assumption, yeah.
I'm gonna go meet up with Abby Donovan.
Okay, alright. Can you check me some effects, please? I just need a few. Keep me going. Need some painkillers for this fucking headache I've got. Cheers, mate.
But yeah, I'm gonna be meeting with her, so I'm just heads up.
Okay, alright, thanks.
Hello?
Yeah. So I don't know whether that's... I was wondering whether that might have been connected in some capacity. But,
I mean, it could be from the first interrogation I had with Buddha. He said that he wanted to keep Cypress away from the Faceless, but he already said that he lied in it.
well, Lang's also mocked by the Faceless as well.
Yeah.
He's been found with a card on his person, so... And then obviously you had that conversation with him as well. So... Yeah, this is,
I mean, it could be. I have a bunch more questions I want to ask Lang now that I had a night to sleep over it, because, I mean, he did say that they were involved. So he said Cypress was involved in Cassie's breakout. So I want to know where they harbored her, and if he says anything about an island, then we probably know that that face was connected.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So I think she was broken out on February 13th, and something that we took note of was on February 14th, Alfonso Sebastian texts CJ, package has been locked away and put in the package room. And
he was working for DLC at the time, right?
No, I think he had been fired already.
Oh, okay. All right.
But we assumed that the package was Cassie.
Yeah.
I subpoenaed Lang's phone from Monday until yesterday.
Honestly, I think you might have gotten away with getting a lot longer than that, given, the whole Ilya murder and everything.
Yeah, I think I'll probably write another one once I get this one, because I want to see, because he did state at first that it was the Faceless that did it, and that he wants to keep Cypress away from the Faceless, and even though he's not scared of them, he respects their power and their influence, and he's not dumb, and he requested the whole interrogation to be sealed, which I did. But so I'm just wondering, like, are they pressuring him into taking the fall for the murder? But why would you pressure someone into taking the fall for a murder that is out of statute that no one could get got for,
I mean, it's possible, kind of manipulating and pushing people is definitely part of their MO, but, taking the fall for some murders from a while back seems strange. I mean, what's more their MO is kind of what you were speaking to me about, that Lang and Charlie were, talking about Skipper because they were worried about his safety, right? Was it accurate? Or no?
Yeah, I think that's really what it came down to.
I think that would more the kind of thing is that they'd threaten somebody else rather than being like, go to prison, for a few years and, we'll leave you be. It doesn't really seem like they're a MO. But it's worth investigating. I mean, yeah, I know it started off from him shooting Larry, right? And who else?
Yeah, Larry Knox and Renato Ortiz. He spoke about Cypress law and that they were traitors and treasonous, and they got what they deserved, and they're now dead to him.
Fucking hell. Okay.
And I think because that happened, because of what they did, and how it violated Cypress law and made him reflect on the 3 people he claims to have killed, and he realized that they didn't deserve it. It's just the way he was speaking about the murders, it just didn't seem like it was made up, you know? Like, just didn't.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you could always just reinterrogate him and kind of get some details only the killers would know, you know, and see if you can ask him specific things like that. But I was thinking about, you know, if he shot, did he actually shoot Larry?
Yeah, with a shotgun.
Fucking hell. Okay. I might try and use that to our advantage because Larry has also been, you know, tied with the Faceless as well. And so maybe I can try and put some pressure on Larry to kind of flip on Lang a bit and his relation with the Faceless as well.
I mean, I think he will, because what it sounded like to me is they both got bled out of Cypress. It seems like Cypress is falling apart. The statement that Larry Knox gave to Quango was, Lang Buddha kidnapped me and Bubbles and shot us. Cypress is a cult, full of Zakites, and they are broke. Leah is the spawn of Satan.
What the fuck? Yeah, it sounds pretty,
Yeah, you can probably skip. You can probably flip them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me know how that goes with Lang and everything. But seems like you got a handle.
Yeah, I'll reinterrogate him. I have a lot more questions to ask, and I'm probably gonna ask, he take a psyche eval.
What do you think?
Oh, just to make sure. I feel like you come turn yourself in and confess to 3 murders, waive your right to statute of limitations. Probably makes sense to make sure that the guy is of a sound mind, you know?
It's probably a good idea. Cover your ass, yeah. Okay. Alright, I gotta call it justice,
but...
but...
He'll probably play out. Ooh, sounds like
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Alright, it was good catching up, Opal. Thank you for the help.
Sure.
Hi, Doc.
Hello, Yorona. How are you?
I'm alright.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on that meeting yesterday.
It was something. It was well, I didn't know about it. That was you know, that wasn't great.
I got called halfway through it as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, it sounded like it was set up by by Shammer. That's what I gathered. I mean, I don't know. There's definitely, you know, I definitely get the vibe that people are trying to mostly do the right thing. You know what I mean? You know, I think the mayors are just trying to look out for their constituents to an extent. I think Nino definitely is, to the point where maybe he's even going a bit out of line by hiring like a private scientist or whatever to do research for 2 months.
I don't know if I believe the whole she's the director of Humane Labs and has been for over a year.
I don't believe that either, man. You know, I haven't seen anything about that. We've had so much shit been going on at the Humane Labs, and I've never heard it connected to anything. You know, I would have at least expected, you know, a phone call or something.
Uh-huh. That's... I don't know what the angle is there for that.
I don't know either, but, you know, they were stopped by police last night coming out of that place, because I think Chris, who was in the meeting, and a couple of others were like checking the Humane Labs out, and they saw a group of people with like in all black and shit coming out, so they stopped them, and then I guess she was there, and she said she was doing work inside, and then she had security with her, and the guy had like an illegal Class 1 firearm on him. So for the time being, Chris used his discretion and didn't charge him with it. But it's like, you know, why is she going to Humane Labs with a security guard with an illegal gun and not letting anybody know about it? Is I don't know. It's like, at the end of the day, it seems like Nino's trying to do the right thing and get a cure. but it sounds like he doesn't really. Either there's some issues between Jason and Sam, or I don't know.
Yeah, hard to tell. Also, the knowledge that Aspen had 2 cures and just gave them to deputies instead of giving them to the medical people is
Yeah,
insane.
I wanted to talk to her about that. I haven't had the chance to speak to her because I can't remember exactly where I got the information. I don't know whether it was with one of my conversations with Dr. Smith himself or whether it came from somebody else. So it's like I said in the meeting, it's unconfirmed. So I've wanted to confirm it with her. But it is pretty, you know, concerning if that is factual, right?
It's like, I can understand like private citizens, you know, being selfish and using it for themselves, but like the sheriff is different.
Yeah. 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 So I'm gonna try and have a conversation with Aspen about that because I also have similar concerns. What else what happened in the meeting? I can't really remember.
It was the whole like 300 vials of treatment got destroyed, and Princess was like, "Oh, they didn't know what they were doing."
Yeah, which makes me think that she might have known who it was. Princess, you know, between you and me is definitely on my radar and has been for a while. And you know, I think it's hard to discern whether it's kind of a innocent, like I'm trying to help, but I don't really know how to help kind of vibe. You know,
Yeah.
she hasn't got any law enforcement experience, so she's kind of just like hearing things and then just kind of spewing them out when they're not confirmed or anything like that, which might not be the best thing. And she spoke to me afterwards and said that, you know, she's not going to have a way to figure out the information or like gather the information, but I don't know how much of that I believe, you know. So yeah, I think it's definitely a bit of a mess. You know, BCSO have been pulled off completely. You know, I mean, it's very difficult at this point because it's not. It is and it isn't a police thing, right? Because it's very difficult situation.
But like, so BCSO have been banned. This guy has said, you know, stopping. It's like he says, stop investigating or make people sick. So does that mean no one in LSPD is also investigating because they aren't getting sick, or
I mean, to the best of my knowledge, I think there's still LSPD looking into it. I don't know who. I imagine it'd be like Doc Masters and Aaron Carter. But I haven't touched base with them, and no one's touched base with me since I got out of the hospital.
So that makes me wonder, you know, why are they okay to look into it, but the BCSO aren't? Will the BCSO getting too close to the truth? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. I don't know, man. You know, there's a lot of difficult overlap. It's kind of what I said at the end of the meeting, where it's like, listen, whatever you do, just don't forget that you're government employees at the end of the day. And I think that's a similar vibe with PD, you know? It's like, you can make the actions that you think are right, but you're still a cop at the end of the day. So, yeah, I mean, as per usual, communication's been garbage, and it hasn't helped the situation at all.
Yeah, definitely not.
But overall, I was at least happy that there was a meeting. You know, at least there was one.
Yeah.
Better than there not being one.
Yeah, that's true. You know, I'm trying to keep a lot of plates spinning, and like the whole plague stuff is like, there's not much the DOJ can really do, so it's like I'll keep it spinning occasionally, but I don't know what else I can do.
Yeah, not really. I think the only thing, the DOJ would really have to be involved with is something like a state of emergency, that kind of thing, is just to keep your finger on the pulse, really. Yeah, I don't know. How's Princess been as the mayor? I haven't really been, involved in the politics of shit lately.
Haven't held any issues. She's taken a different stance to spending than the other mayors have. Because all the other mayors have been like, oh, we're barely breaking even, so they're too afraid to spend money. But she's just gonna spend money, and then if it gets to zero, hopefully it forces someone to do something.
What does that mean?
Well, like the whole system for Blaine County to make money just isn't there, you know?
Yeah.
Like the whole toll thing where there's 3 out of the 4 toll lots are in Blaine County, so they pay people who put cars in, but then anyone who takes a car out has to do it in Los Santos County, and LS gets the money from that.
Right.
So she's operating on the she's operating as if they aren't just breaking even. And then, if it ends up where Blaine County gets to zero, it will get something needs to change, whether it's can join the counties, put infrastructure in Blaine County, or do something.
Yeah. Okay.
I also think the new legislation she put in is a bit counterintuitive to the whole Blaine County needs money thing.
What was it?
Well, she's introduced the new licenses for hunting, fishing, and lumber. But they're 10 grand. So, like, if someone comes into the city, they aren't going to be able to do lumber legally until they make 10 grand.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Like, lumber and fishing are like something you can do easily on your own and not have to rely on other people at first. But I mean, that was her decision.
Yeah. All right. Interesting.
Apparently, Nino isn't gonna run for the
I heard that. Yeah, I did hear that. Any idea who's running?
Grayson, mate.
I heard that too. Yeah.
I think Tony Long. That's the
Oh,
only names I've
okay.
heard.
All right. It's not too bad. Not too shabby.
Yeah. Who
Um.
knows? Maybe if Fred doesn't get director, he might run.
Of course you will. Yeah. Any position he'll run for, man. As long as it's above everybody else.
Yeah.
What about? I posted the impeachment for Jaina. What's the status on that?
Waiting on, I think, McNee or Hart to pick it up because, I was consulted about it and it's coming from the marshals, so Weiss is actually conflicted on this one and not just him saying he's conflicted.
Okay. All right, but so they've been notified and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Just wanted to make sure
the
it
other
wasn't forgotten about.
impeachments, fucking who knows.
Oh yeah.
Use a fucking crystal ball to find out when someone from the state will respond to them.
Yeah. I mean, what's your opinion on like everybody who's been impeached? I think apart from Hart has just been like trying to dismiss it immediately.
I mean, I can understand the reaction. I would have probably had I mean, depending on the reason impeachment came against me, I would want to have a conversation with who was pushing it first.
Yeah.
Because Craig told me, if Weiss had a conversation, been told him he would be more active, then Craig would have just dismissed it.
Yeah, Craig said the same thing to me. Yeah. I mean, I had a conversation with Jaina, but it was, she knew that she was
Mhm.
getting impeached.
Yeah, she kept
Already.
asking me like, when's the punishment coming, and I'm like, something will happen. Then want to tell her, oh, by the way, you're gonna get impeached.
Yeah.
And she kept like begging for the punishment, and I'm like, something will happen.
But yeah, I said, listen, the only possible solution I can see here is you resign. And she said, I'm not going to resign. So I was like, okay, I'll carry on with the impeachment. You know, not a lot we can do there, given she's a magistrate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it really. I know Pred was trying to reach out to you to try and get his interview sorted. I don't know whether that happened or not, but
Yeah, he spoke to me yesterday. They might be happening tomorrow.
okay.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
So we said I will do them on Sunday. Parts unavailable, but we're going to record them and so she can watch them. And then McNee was like, "Well, I can do it on Sunday if it's like before this time." And then I was like, "That's the only time on Sunday or any other day of the week that I can't do when I'm like actually not asleep."
Yeah.
And then McNee said, "Well, don't let me hold you guys up." And then nothing has been said otherwise because Weiss said for the people interested to text him. So I don't know who's actually interested, what their availability is. So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, sounds like a mess.
It does.
Yep. All right. Well, I gotta get back to maybe just going home because I got beat over the head by the chicken man today. So, is there anything else I can do for
What?
you, Your Honor? Yeah, the chicken man. He bashed me over the head with a hammer after ramming me off a mountain with a 18-wheeler.
Sure. You know what? I'll remain ignorant on what a chicken man is.
Okay, yeah, it's a good idea.
Well, you take care, Doc.
You too, mate. Bye bye.